US gymnasts who were sexually abused by their team doctor Larry Nassar have been giving evidence to a Senate committee investigating why he wasn't stopped sooner. He's now serving life in jail for abusing hundreds of victims over an 18-year period. But it's alleged the FBI and sporting authorities covered it all up and allowed him to continue his abuse.
We have been failed and we deserve answers. Nassar is where he belongs, but those who enabled him deserve to be held accountable. If they are not, I am convinced that this will continue to happen to others across Olympic sports.
To have my abuse be minimized and disregarded by the people who were supposed to protect me, just to feel like my abuse was not enough. But the truth is, my abuse was enough, and they wanted to cover it up.
To date, no one from the FBI, the US OPC, or USAG has faced federal charges other than Larry Nassar. For many hundreds of survivors of Larry Nassar, this hearing is one of our last opportunities to get justice.
And it disgusts me that we are still fighting for the most basic answers and accountability over 6 years later.
Martha Kellner has more from Washington.
It was clearly a very distressing morning for Simone Biles. She said there was nowhere in the world she'd less like to be than in that room telling her story. It was very striking to see these 4 women, some of USA's world-beating gymnasts, telling their story to a room full of senators. And it's, of course, not a story just of glory, but a story of devastation, of abuse at the hands of the USA team gymnastics doctor Larry Nassar. But this was particularly a quest to bring those to hold other people accountable. Simone Biles says, yes, she blames Larry Nassar, but she also blames USA Gymnastics, the USA Olympic team, and specifically in this case, she also holds the FBI responsible. This was a Senate committee hearing into the FBI's mishandling of this case, one of the biggest sex abuse cases in the history of the country. These women who spoke today believe the FBI's mishandling of the case meant that dozens more women and girls were abused by Larry Nassar. In Simone Biles' opening statement, she held back tears. She said that those that enabled this abuse must be brought to justice. She also, for the first time, drew a very direct link between the abuse that she suffered by Larry Nassar, the ongoing trauma of this fight for justice, and the fact that she was unable to compete, as you may remember, in many events at the Tokyo Olympics this summer. Simone Biles today named one of the most influential people in the world. It's very clear from this hearing that her sphere of influence extends beyond sport.